Hello, beer lovers. We've got a special treat for you today. Bobby was recently on the Upstate Beer Boys Podcast. We've talked a little bit before about Asheville, North Carolina being a destination for breweries, and who better to be your guide than the folks that live there. They were recently in Appleton and had Bobby on to talk about the scene here in Appleton. So enjoy part of that conversation right after this amazing theme song.
We're just boys. We like beer. If you think that sounds hazy, then Lord, we'll make it clear. We like blonde ales, IPAs, cider stouts in the USA. We're just boys. We like beer. We're just boys. We like beer. Upstate Beer Boys.
Hey, we're back with another exciting episode of the Upstate Beer Boys Podcast. Just sitting here with all these bags got to get packed.
Bags?
Yeah.
What you packing bags for?
Folks, stand by. I guess we're going up to the Appleton Beer Factory. Well, folks, I told you last night that I run into this random guy up here at Appleton, Wisconsin, and you heard it. He invited me to his brewery and invited some other guys, apparently, and we just got back from supper. Come up here to, where are we at?
Appleton Beer Factory in Appleton, Wisconsin, right on College Avenue, main drag.
So what are we doing here?
Well, we're going to introduce you to a couple other great brewers from the area that are really good friends of ours and just talk a little bit about beer. How does that sound?
Hey, it sounds good to me. You promised yesterday that we were going to do it, and I am so glad that you decided to make good on your offer.
Yeah, so, I mean, I met you last night at Cleo's and gave you an opportunity to try some 547, which is actually from McFleshman's, which is right next to us. So we have two breweries in downtown Appleton that are 10 paces apart from each other, and we actually run a third label that we call 10 Paces that we do hot sauce and sour beers with. And these are all traditional sour, none of the kettle sour type stuff. We do all traditional sour. Takes anywhere from about a year to 4 years to age in our oak barrels down in our basement. We can do up about 50 barrels at a time.
Okay. So what is your favorite beer?
My favorite beer that we do here, so I have two favorites. I have one that I drink when I can't have heavy beer, and that's our light lager, which that actually gets served at Lambeau Field, where the Green Bay Packers play up at 1919 Kitchen and Tap. And then my favorite beer, I save till the end of the night because it's a little bit heavier. It's about a 6.5%, and that's our Juicy McJuice Face, which is a hazy IPA that is probably one of the most drinkable hazy IPAs I've found around.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, that's the one that I had last night?
And the one you got in your hand right now. Yeah.
Absolutely.
This is actually this beer and a few of our accounts in the area actually outsells Spotted Cow, which, if you know anything about Wisconsin, trying to outsell Spotted Cow at any restaurant or tavern is very hard to do, and we actually do it at a couple of ours, and we're very, very excited for that because Spotted Cow is kind of a staple in the state of Wisconsin, and anytime we can best someone that does as good as what Spotted Cow does from a marketing and distribution standpoint, it's always a good day.
I was all excited coming up here. I saw it in the airport. The airport place was closed. I got all excited about it, heard nothing but great things. I got one, and I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, it's a smooth drinking, easy drinking, hazy IPA. The great thing about this IPA is I look at it as I call it a gateway beer. It's for if you're trying to get into hazy and IPAs. This is a real simple way to get your palate accustomed to the hops without something that's going to get over hoppy. There's also a little bit of a grapefruit notes in this, which comes from the hops that we use in the beer. We don't put any juice or anything in it, but it's very
Use local.
No, we use Breeze. Yeah, we use Breeze for all of our malt, which is out of Manitowoc, Wisconsin.
But the hops are often coming from the hop exchange of
the
Wisconsin.
hop exchange is where we go for most of ours. We use Cascades, one of the big ones that we use in our Juicy McJuice phase. But I'm going to get you to some people that actually, my partner Ben, who's the brewer, was unable to be here tonight, but I have some crazy people with me. Bobby Fleshman from McFleshman's Brewery. This guy has some award-winning beers from multiple different beer tastings, and this guy's a master brewer. He's also an astrophysicist that used to work for NASA, which is crazy. This guy's one of the smartest guys I know. And then we have Oliver, who's awesome as well. And but these guys do a lot more with the brewing than I do. I focus on the sales and entertainment at ABF because we are also a music venue and have a full-service restaurant.
So we have an astrophysicist here, and we got a drunk.
And we got
awesome.
into a bar.
And then we all walk into a bar. Nice, got it.
And I haven't grown up yet, so I don't know what I'm going to be.
So first I'll let Bobby tell a little about McFleshman's, but that's the brewery that's 10 paces away from us. So.
Yeah, I'm Bobby Fleshman, and my wife and I, her name is Allison McCoy, opened a brewery, and we called it McFleshman's. We smashed our names together. We're super fixated on traditional styles. We make a lot of lagers, a lot of English ales, Irish ales, a couple hoppy beers. I think you guys had one last night.
Yeah, he told me I had to have it.
That one is our number one selling beer, and it's a double IPA in our tap room. It's the craziest thing. It's a little Pavlovian because every time someone orders it, we ring a bell, and then so they line up and they get another one, and then they ring the bell again. Yeah, everyone starts slobbering like a dog. Anyway, so we're way into these traditional styles. So we started our own podcast, and our slogan is called Respecting the Beer. And so we have a podcast named Respecting the Beer, and Oliver's been on there before. I don't think Mark's been on there yet, but in time. But yeah, if she were here, she would probably give you a lot more details, but I think that's the high level of what we're doing over there, the traditional stuff. I'm the only one without that Juicy McJuice face in my glass right now. I feel left out. I have Yelling Guy, which has its own story behind it.
Yeah,
it's their pale ale.
I saw that in your cooler.
Yeah, that's actually named after a guy that drives around downtown and yells, "Woo!" every time you see him. So that's kind of.
So we should be paying them, right?
Well, okay,
yeah.
we don't.
You guys should be.
That now.
So anyway, you were saying collaborations. You're
do a collaboration with the podcast. I mean, we'd have to do it over Zoom.
Heck yeah.
But we do that every now and again.
Fantastic. Absolutely. Yeah, I have family. We were talking before this started. I have family in Alabama and Oklahoma and Texas, so it'd be cool to reach another part of the nation.
And I married into a Dothan, Alabama family.
There you go. And then we have connections in South Carolina with one of the partners
of our partners
of the Beer Factory.
From the Beer Factory actually lives down in South Carolina. He moved down there about 4 or 5 years ago. So,
What part, you know?
Near Asheville,
South Carolina, near Asheville, is where he lives. Or that's North Carolina.
That's North Carolina.
Yeah,
North Carolina.
that's true.
But
he
lives
We're
in
62 miles from Asheville.
Yeah, I know he lives in South Carolina, works in North Carolina, I believe. Or it might be the opposite way. But
Great. There's our ties. Yeah, so maybe we'll get you across the alley and try some of our beers before you get out of here. Otherwise, I'll stuff them in your suitcase and you can crack them when you get back home.
There you go.
Let's hear about Oliver. What you think?
Well, first I had to laugh because you talked about a collaboration, and I don't know if you know this, but brewers are notoriously bad at doing collabs. And I think Bobby and I have been working on one for just shy of 3 years now, and it still hasn't happened. So good luck with your collab. It just turns out that brewers are busier than shit, and that's what happens.
We run out of space.
Yeah.
Well, as our podcast, we have collaborated with 3 local breweries and brewed 3 beers.
Nice.
and did episodes while we were brewing the beer. Then did a beer release and did an episode about that.
It's a great idea.
Yeah.
I mean,
we had a good time.
I would love to
with
be
it.
able to do a collab, but apparently Bobby and I are too busy. I don't know what's going on.
We need stunt doubles to do this.
Yeah, we need
for
stunt
us.
doubles. Yeah, stand-ins.
go.
I'm Oliver Boehm. My wife and I, Amy, opened up Hop Yard Ale Works 3 years ago. So we're the new kids in the block. Even though it's
can
been,
art.
thank you. We don't like it that much anymore, but we just got our beer in cans.
Toughest critic.
So yeah, we've been open.
Yeah,
Just now.
That's awesome. I was gonna say I didn't know if you guys had it in cans.
That's his first run. It looks like that.
That's awesome.
We just got it in cans, and then my wife and I both looked at it and we're like, yeah, let's change it. That's what happens. But I don't know. My style is definitely not Bobby's. We're the non-traditional, hazy, weird. I don't know. Just we don't go by the rules of what beer should be.
Yeah.
Sometimes that works. Sometimes it doesn't. We made some beers that just didn't quite hit the mark. But that's the great thing about beer is that no matter where you go and different breweries do different stuff, and we can all be part of that community because there's so many different people who like different kinds of beers. And the it's an unlimited world when it comes to beer of what you want to make. So that's pretty cool. I think for us, our big style is hazy IPAs. I'm a huge hazy guy. Juicy McJuice Face, delicious. I don't know. We're just trying to get through it, man. We're just trying to survive and make people happy and keep going.
Yeah, you guys came in right after COVID started pretty much, or even a little bit at the end maybe?
We built during COVID.
During COVID,
And then we opened after COVID.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think a lot of people think that COVID, I hear it all the time, oh my gosh, you guys opened during COVID. We really didn't. We opened at the end of COVID. That probably gave us a boost when we opened our doors. But yeah, we're just trying to fit in, find our niche in the world of making beer and making people happy and, keep rolling.
What's COVID? When did that? Sorry, when did that happen?
Somebody had a cold around 2020, I think.
What's
I thought they
2020?
ate bats.
Yeah, something like that.
The year that never happened.
They ate bats and yes, Chinese flu.
What's the? Can I ask you what's the popular style of beer in South Carolina right now?
Yeah. Hazy IPAs is what a lot of guys go after, and then wintertime it's usually stouts or porters, but I drink both of them year round. It doesn't bother me. I like all kind of beer.
I had to laugh when Mark said at the end of the night you get a 6.5 heavy % beer, and I'm thinking, oh shit, like my to go at night beer is a 13.2 barrel aged Scottish. Hence why I consider myself the drunk of the table. But
Yeah, but I probably, I normally have about 7 or 8 light lagers before I get to the juicy, so that always, and a couple of shots, when it's band night, we always tend to see a lot of shots come across the table too. So.
Hey, so while we're talking about that in bands, one of our sponsors, like I said before we started recording, we don't charge anything, but we have some sponsors that always let us go to their beer festivals, and it's 2 guys, Josh and Jonathan, and they together own New Groove Brewery in Bowling Springs, South Carolina, down where we live. And they do a Crispy Fest, which is all about light lagers, sours, good fresh beer, crispy beer. And then they also do a Woodstock.
This is the one I thought was really cool.
They're really big into music. They're a music-themed brewery / restaurant. They both come from the marching band background. They're both national judges that actually go around the United States and judge marching bands. So Woodstock, and Josh and Jonathan, don't kill me if I butcher this, but because they listen to our podcast, Woodstock is a beer festival that the beer at the beer festival has to touch wood at some point before
Stop
it's
laughing,
kegged
Oliver.
or canned.
We're 12 here.
Wood as in barrels.
oh, yeah, barrels is fine.
Obviously, Mark.
Hey, this is a PG-13 show. So
I don't know what you guys are thinking about, but
your eyes got awfully big. You're not innocent. But so he has breweries that come from all over the place. In California, Colorado, you name it, they're pretty much there. And it's so cool because you pay less than, I think it's like $55, and you get to try a beer that we wouldn't normally get to try in little old South Carolina because of distribution. So it's just a fun time. And then for the brewers that come down there, they do a special VIP. They do a like dinner, lunch for them, and they all go to a local place and have drinks and food. So, and we get invited to that too. But
how does one get invited?
Get into that, yeah.
How does a brewer get invited to that?
So I'll let you know because he already asked me, and I said, well, I know the brewers, the owners, I'm going to contact them because they always have a good time. Yeah. It's February, I think it's February the 2nd. It's the first Saturday in February.
It's February 1st. 2nd
is it
Sunday. Yeah.
February the 1st?
Nice and warm.
Yeah,
up in Wisconsin.
Super warm up here.
Yeah.
We would
Nice
love
way to
a
get a vacation if the business pay for it.
That's
Yeah,
actually
I like
the
it.
weekend that we sponsor Ice Dance, which is a music festival right downtown Appleton. We're gonna have leftover salmon this year, which is gonna be really cool. But yeah, I know I'm interested in potentially getting down there for one of these because a lot of the bands we get that I work with personally are out of the South Carolina, North Carolina area because I work with Atlas Touring, which is right out of South Carolina, and some of our best bands and favorite bands that we have through are from down in that area. So I think I would love to check out Woodstock at some point.
Yep, February 1st.
Larry, if you're
2025.
listening, you might have a house guest for that weekend.
Perfect.
Nice
I got an extra spare bedroom and spare bath.
All right, make it count twice. If you go, bring us with you.
I mean, I'm not. I got room in my truck. That's fine. We can make that
There it
work.
is, right there.
Yeah. It probably won't be this year because I can't miss Ice Dance this year because we have leftover salmon and we're going to sell out our first year of that festival or third year of the festival. First time we're selling out.
Okay, I get it.
But
Completely
I
understand.
think that's a great opportunity for potentially next year. On the if they're interested in having a couple of Wisconsin boys down there.
Oh, they absolutely will. Wood aged beer festival.
Yeah.
So see, I didn't butcher it too bad.
It's close.
And Bobby does a lot with. Do you do a ton of wood barrel aging over there, Oliver?
We do as much as we can handle, which is not a lot. Everything we've done has gone over really, really well. Just space. Being able to brew it, being able to store it is always a nightmare for any brewery. I mean, I've been to your place, Bobby. There's barrels stuffed everywhere. It's a logistical nightmare if you don't have the space. And I think for us, it's the space issue. But we've done them. It works out well. Like we just did our barrel aged Scottish ale. I think that was our highest rated beer by the very knowledgeable critics of Untapped.
Very knowledgeable.
Very knowledgeable. They know everything. But that was our highest rated beer, which kind of it makes you happy when you do a barrel aged beer because it scores so well and people love it. But at the same time, I don't want to sound bad.
You don't sell a lot of it.
No, well, you do. It's just you don't.
You're taking that praise in context, right?
It's not that hard to make a really good one, in my opinion. No, there's guys out there who they kill it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Central Waters and Three Sheeps.
Yeah.
There's guys out there who can kill it. But in general, it's like you take a beer that's like pretty good, throw in a barrel. Now it's this epic beer.
Well, if you spend money on something like that, you want it to be good.
Well,
So you've already
correct.
got this preconception.
Yeah. I think it's always weird when I see it's the barrel aged beers that are rated super, super high, then it's the double IPAs that are rated the next, and if you make a really, really, really good lager, 3.5. Yeah. Like,
Oh yeah,
what,
it's a
what
5-star
happened?
lager, but it's 3.5.
It's crazy, but that's just the world we live in. You got to go along with it. No big deal. But yeah, I mean, I love doing barrel aged stuff in this town. Barrel age. In winter, I mean, it's cold as crap outside, so when people can get a nice, 12, 13% barrel-aged beer, they love it. I do as well.
It's a good nightcap for me.
It's how I usually start my day, right around breakfast. It just gets you loose for the day.
On the weekends, I can do that, but during the week, my boss wouldn't like that. And one of my bosses is sitting behind me.
I think that's the problem about having a brewery is because it's just so easy and logical that you taste beer and drink beer. So it's like, I mean,
Quality control.
I'll open up the brewery and all of a sudden it's like 10:30 and I'm trying a 12% beer. No one thinks twice about it,
Nope.
but that's what you're gonna do,
Quality
right?
control at 5 in the morning. Seriously.
What was that?
I'm doing quality control at 5 in the morning, pulling samples of barrel-aged beers.
You got to do it.
Yeah, that's right.
You got to make sure the beer is good for your
I
customers.
mean, you got to wake them up, and yeah, absolutely.
Bobby does some cool barrel-aged stuff, but I think one of the cool things that we've done is that barrel-aged sour program, and I know he can talk a lot more about it, that him and Ben are really the
Well, if we were to
brainchilds
make
of
it
that.
to this Woodstock, that's what we would bring.
Oh,
we
for sure.
age 1, 2, or 3 years. We're aging sour beers in wine barrels, blending those back together, and they're very Belgian-inspired. Yeah.
Yeah, and all of them just knock it out of the park. It's crazy the amount of feedback we get around them, and they're just, we got so many people that are used to in the current climate a lot of kettle sours and stuff like that. Where
Nothing wrong with
nothing
that.
wrong with
Yeah,
those at all,
that's-
and to make it's just a different, these are the traditional beers, right? These are the ones. These are probably some of the beers that beer started with before we got all the other types of beer.
I would say that people that make kettle sours, they have to be on top of that, like by the minute as it's souring in that kettle. Whereas when you're doing these traditional sours, check it this month and then check it in 2 months from now, and then 2 months from now. So you get a whole lot more latitude when you're working with these. They come out maybe more nuanced, but you also have just so much time to work with.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very different process.
Well, respecting the beer fans, thanks for listening to the Upstate Beer Boys podcast. This is only half of the conversation that Stephen had with Bobby, Mark, and Ben. If you want to hear the rest of it, head on over to their podcast feed and listen to the episode on the road again with a bunch of periods. So what'd you think? Should we have them on our podcast? Or maybe we should head out to North Carolina and really get a taste of it all. Maybe we could get a theme song like theirs while we're out there too. Let me know. We'll put something together maybe.